Today's video was requested by Matthias Shaw. If you have any other topics you'd like to learn about, subscribe and let us know in the comments section below. As members of the Canidae family, coyotes share many features with close relatives like wolves, jackals, dogs, and foxes. In fact, there has been a significant degree of hybridization throughout their evolutionary history. This is still present in the DNA of red and western wolves, as well as eastern coyotes, the largest coyote species. These animals have lean bodies, thick fur, and bushy tails. They also have yellow eyes and narrow, elongated snouts. Coyotes are about as large as a medium-sized dog, typically measuring over 3 to 4 feet from head to tail, with a weight of 20 to 50 pounds. The reputation of being wily is well earned. They are very intelligent creatures with a well-developed sense of smell, hearing, and sight. Coyotes are also the most vocal of all North American mammals and have a range of 11 recognized vocalizations they use to communicate. Perhaps the most iconic out of all of them is the lone howl, which a coyote that has been separated from its pack uses to announce its presence. Even though the coyote is considered too small to take down an adult, there have been several attacks throughout the years, and their frequency is reportedly set to increase. Number 4. Natalia Petrellese. In April 2018, off-duty police officer Arcangelo Liberatore, his wife, and their 2 young children were in the park in Thornwood, New York. Liberatore had finished his training for an upcoming fitness test and was relaxing with his family when they spotted a coyote entering the park. The animal made its way to the playground where it attacked 5-year-old Natalia Petrellese, biting her arm. The coyote then tried to drag her away. Liberatore quickly got his family to safety before turning back to help Natalia. When he got to the playground, he saw Natalia's mother struggling to get the coyote off her. Using his training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Liberatore got on top of the animal and began to strangle it. He told a media outlet, "If you control the neck, you control the entire body. And so literally, I was just holding it down by its head, so it couldn't go anywhere." The mounted police arrived on the scene and told Liberatore to get off the animal and run towards them. As the coyote started to chase him, the police shot and killed it. A coyote attack in broad daylight is very rare, and later tests confirmed it was rabid. All 3 received treatment, and Natalia also needed stitches for the deep wound inflicted by the coyote on her forearm. Coyotes can be found in deserts, plains, forests, and mountains throughout North America, from Alaska south through Mexico and into Central America. They vary in color and size depending on where they're located. Coyotes living in mountain regions tend to have a darker coat than their desert-dwelling counterparts. The largest subspecies live in eastern Canada and northeastern America. Coyotes are nocturnal predators and often hunt in pairs or packs to take down larger game. Their diet is varied, and aside from mammals, they'll eat snakes, frogs, insects, and even grass. They've been spotted in urban areas throughout the US and Canada. Coyotes are territorial animals, and their expansion into populated areas has gradually made them less afraid of humans, which increases the odds of potential attacks. Number 3. Kelly Keene. On August 26, 1981, as Kathy Keene was tending to some daily chores, she left her child in the living room of the family's house in Glendale, California. 3-year-old Kelly Keene was watching children's programs, but at some point she let herself out the front door and stepped into the driveway. It was then that she encountered an urban coyote. The animal took the toddler in its mouth and ran off, dragging her through the street. Kelly's father heard her cries and rescued her, chasing the coyote away. Unfortunately, by that time, Kelly's injuries were too severe, Her neck was broken and she'd lost too much blood. She was in surgery for 4 hours before she ultimately succumbed to her wounds. In the aftermath of her death, Glendale began its first urban coyote management program, which resulted in the trapping and shooting of 55 coyotes. The plan was met with uproar by several animal rights activists. Some even claimed that the coyote had been a cover-up and that there were documents missing from the hospital. As previously mentioned, as coyotes move into areas populated by us, the likelihood of attacks increases. In the US between 1976 and 2006, there were at least 160 attacks, and most of them took place in the LA County area. Experts have confirmed that coyote attacks were the cause of at least 2 fatalities. As people intentionally or unintentionally feed these animals, their fear decreases and their predatory instincts begin to kick in. There have been incidents of coyotes confronting people walking their pets, chasing cyclists or joggers, and even stalking small children they perceived as potential prey. In open spaces, coyotes are visual predators. In forests or thick vegetation, they rely on their keen senses of smell and hearing. Even though an adult can probably overcome a single coyote, confronting a large pack may have lethal consequences. Children are particularly vulnerable to coyote attacks. When attacking, the coyote will first bite at the legs and hindquarters. To kill its prey, they usually deliver a choking bite to the throat. Number 2. Taylor Mitchell. Taylor Mitchell was a rising star on the Canadian folk scene. She was also a nature lover and an environmentalist. On October 27, 2009, Mitchell decided to take a break between concerts and went on a hike in Cape Breton Highlands National Park. Later that day, a group of hikers found Mitchell's personal items, including keys and a small knife, along one of the trails. As they headed through a clearing at the end of the trail, they found torn pieces of bloody clothing and a large amount of blood on the ground. Among some trees, they discovered Mitchell lying on the ground with a coyote standing over her. It took repeated charges from 3 young men to get the animal off of her. At that time, despite multiple bites all over her body and serious wounds to her leg and head, Mitchell was still conscious and able to talk to her rescuers. She was eventually airlifted to hospital, where she later died from extreme blood loss. Her death is the only known fatal coyote attack on an adult. It was later discovered that she'd actually been attacked by 2 coyotes, both of which were reportedly completely unafraid of humans. Wildlife experts conducted research to find out whether the coyotes were rabid, starving hybrids or protecting a carcass. When none of the theories panned out, they were forced to reassess the predatory risk the coyotes posed to us. If you live in an area known for coyote presence, one of the first things to do is to secure your home. This means installing motion trigger deterrents like sprinklers or lights, as well as trimming trees and shrubbery, thereby eliminating potential hiding places for them. Don't leave food outside, and secure your garbage bins. If you go hiking in coyote territory, carry something to defend yourself, like pepper spray or a large stick. If you do encounter a coyote in close proximity, don't run away or turn your back to it, because this is typical prey behavior. A coyote can reach speeds of up to 40 miles per hour, so there's almost no chance of outrunning it. Immediately leash any pets, and if you have a child with you, shield them with your body. Keep facing the coyote while making loud noises and try to make yourself look bigger. If you don't have anything to defend yourself with, throw rocks, sticks, or clumps of dirt at it. As you're doing this, gradually back away. If the animal does charge at you, fight back by kicking it and don't let it take you down. Protect your neck. It's a vulnerable area and one that the coyote will likely target. Coyotes are also known to carry rabies, so surviving any attack should be followed up by seeing a doctor. Number 1. Andrew Dickage. In October 2013, Colorado resident Andrew Dickage was walking to work when attacked by 3 coyotes. It was Monday, before sunrise, when 22-year-old Andrew heard rustling in the brush behind him. Shortly afterwards, 3 coyotes emerged and took turns lunging at him. As the animals were biting and clawing at his arms, neck, and face, Dickage fought back. He knew that running wasn't an option, but he didn't want to be taken down either. Dickage assumed a wide stance and began using his flashlight as a club. After several minutes, the animals retreated back into the woods. Dickage survived with multiple puncture wounds, but none of them were life-threatening.